Yo, 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 it's just Stowe if you ain't know, and this is What's the Word. Today's word is relationships/friendships. So it's February, it's the month of love. So we're just gonna get right into it. And we're gonna start off with our guest.
I'm Lisa Ume, and I am your favorite author that hasn't published anything yet.
Okay.
Follow me at Lisa_Ume.
Hi, my name is Seyi Oluwashino. I'm a wedding videographer and an engineer. Follow me on all platforms at Seyi_films.
Hi everyone, I'm Wati. I am a singer and an engineer as well. Follow me at wati.mp3.
Okay, that's good, guys. So make sure y'all follow them. And we'll get right into it. So in terms of friendships and relationships, right? I feel like we all have pretty good, viewpoints on that. So we'll just jump right into it. So foundationally, relationally, and like in terms of friendships, like what would you say is very important in sustaining a friendship or relationship, whether that's from your age now or for the future, anything like that. So what would you say? Anyway, any of y'all can start.
I think for me, in terms of foundations, I feel like it's important the experiences that made you choose that person as a friend or as a partner, that can sustain the rest of that relationship or that friendship. So I know trust, all these things are very important, but I do believe that like if you're able to, when things get hard, you're able to remember, I became friends with this person because of this reason, right? Or I got into a relationship with this person because of this reason. It can sustain the rest of the relationship. So that's what foundation means to me.
Yeah, no, that's good. What about y'all?
I feel like a very good foundation that has to be in any relationship, whether it be friendship or romantically, definitely has to be trust.
Yeah.
Being able to trust one another, especially when things go wrong, being able to trust. I mean, life isn't easy, and it's even harder when you have to deal with people you don't trust, even if that's just your friend. So being able to trust someone, you might have secrets or stuff like that. Being able to trust someone, to pour out your heart to them. So having someone as a soundboard, having the ability to trust someone is hard to come by that.
Yeah.
But it's important. I don't think you can have any relationship without it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I would say self-awareness.
Yeah, that's good.
And just really knowing yourself. Because you can't get in like partnership with somebody and know what you want from them if you don't know yourself.
Yeah.
I also think it's important to know who you are when you're with somebody and who they amplify you to be. But if you don't know yourself, then you don't know when you're going one way or the other, or when somebody is lifting you up or taking you closer or moving you further away from who you are and who you want to be.
Yeah.
I think self-awareness, that's a very good one, honestly.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. Self-awareness is very good. I feel like it's one of the hardest things, like for people to actually, sit down and, reflect on themselves and try to think of who they are or what do they like, what do they dislike. I mean, most people don't even know. I mean, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people know what they like, but most people don't even know what they dislike. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you kind of have to know that in any relationship. So yeah, definitely self-awareness. That's a good one for sure.
And I think it's also important because most of the time we send our representatives out whenever we like meet people and connect with them.
Yeah.
But like the more you know yourself, the more your representative aligns with who you actually are.
Yeah.
So as you get to know people and those guards come down and the rose-colored glasses come off, you're not too far off and you're not in front of somebody and you're like, wait, who am I? Who are you?
Yeah.
So you're two completely different people. So the closer you are to that, I think the more longevity you have in your relationships.
Yeah. Facts.
No, I definitely agree. I think, like Shay's right. In terms of self-awareness, I don't think that was the first thing that initially came up to my mind. But I think it's probably the most important thing now that you said.
For sure.
Just because, like, let's say even starting from like middle school and high school and post-grad now, stuff like that. In anything you do, if we don't know ourselves, there's no way we can possibly make like the correct progression relationally and like in friendships. And I feel like, especially the older you get, you're meeting people from different backgrounds, different environments, all this other stuff. And there's obviously something that draws us to them, whether that's friends or whether that's relationally. Like the thing that I would say though is, because not all friends are completely similar. So I feel like there's a certain type of push insight that you have that kind of helps, how can I put it? That'll help allow you to see like, oh, if you really want to be friends with this person, like or not. Like they could be a good person and stuff, but that doesn't mean they're necessarily the right, like to be your friend.
For the right person for you, yeah.
So I feel like it comes down to like, okay, what type of quote unquote grace you extend in certain areas. So like what we kind of talked about like earlier, in terms of like, okay, foundationally like with trust, right? So if this person, like, do you think like, okay, there's a trustworthy person, or there's certain characteristics that are just like, you're good, but I'm just gonna push you to the side, you know what I'm saying? Or I can be friends with you, or people don't like to use the word acquaintances, but a lot of times people that they call friends are acquaintances because there's a certain type of gap there. So yeah, that's where I would lean towards. But yeah, do you have any like more like to say?
I mean, do you reckon like, so are we saying that friends, so when we say friends, like, and acquaintances, like what's the, like, is there a difference
distinction?
there?
Yeah, I think for me, I'm not gonna just go out and say we're acquaintances because that just sounds somehow. Yeah. Because I don't know. For me, And then a lot of times, in my specific opinion, like I feel like I haven't necessarily given everybody the equal amount of time to just be calling everyone acquaintances. Like I feel like you can call someone an acquaintance after a certain duration or whatever. It's like, oh, I just know like that's just where we're gonna stand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas if you just met someone in passing or whatever a few times, and I'm not gonna just say acquaintances because I haven't really gave you that fair opportunity. Now with friends, usually there's friends that you make off rip. But a lot of times it's, you know them for a while, this and that, but that's when it leans a little bit different. So okay, we're friends, like what is making this train like keep going? Like there's some type of yin and yang type of flow that I'm getting, like maybe there's something I'm lacking that you feed into me, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe vice versa. So I think that's where it's a little bit obscured because some people don't really know, I feel like, the difference in that. Like I feel like, you know what I'm saying?
Bloodlines,
like,
for sure.
So you have to, at least the older you get, you have to make it clear. Like there's one thing that my parents say, it's just like, especially the older you get, people are just gonna naturally fall off. Like it's okay, like it just happens. But the people that do stick there, either were meant to be there for you, or like there's obviously something that both of y'all are feeding each other that is continuing the process of that friendship to continue growing. And I feel like that's also like, with partners too, like the more you go, the deeper you go, like there's something that y'all are both feeding, there's a grace that's being extended, there's a mercy that's being extended into building something like that.
That's why I asked that, because to me, like for someone to be my acquaintance, like I don't have to trust them. Yeah, in my opinion,
that's fair.
Like because I can keep that person where they are.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But my friend, like I need to be able to trust my friend. But acquaintances, I got many acquaintances. Most of them that I know, if I tell them my business, I know it's going to be out and about. I'm already knowing. Yeah. But I know how to meet them where they are, and you know what I'm saying. We all have acquaintances for maybe different things. Some of us have acquaintances, well, we can go out with them. Yeah. Some of us, we have acquaintances, man, they know all the best food spots, we go with them. Yeah. We have acquaintances that, do you know what? There's even some acquaintances that we know that, like, they're a good sounding board and they have sound advice, but they might not really actually necessarily be our friend. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? I don't want to say, like, we use people differently. I don't even like to use the word use, but I mean, different people have different gifts. Yeah. So,
that's true.
And so I have a question for you. Like, how do you manage someone who sees you as a friend while you see them as an acquaintance? Because like that kind of goes back to what Lisa said about like knowing yourself. When you know yourself, okay, this person is in the acquaintance category and then this person is in the friendship category. Yeah. But that person might be seeing you as this is my guy. Yeah. No, so how do you manage that?
Facts. That's tough.
That's a good question.
that's tough because I mean, like, because that's, oh man, there's a thin line between, oh my God, I actually don't even know how to answer that.
Well, I don't know if I can touch on it a little bit because but I think I just operate honestly however I view that person. Yes. So like if someone is like, oh, Lisa's my best friend, I've never said those words to you. And then like I don't want it to sound that bad, but I'm very clear when it comes to like relationships are very important to me. Yeah. Like, and that comes from a whole history of like my upbringing that like true friends, like they hold a true place. Yeah. So like I I can't attribute all of friendship to somebody who I don't feel that way.
Yeah.
So if somebody views me as like, oh, I'm really close to Lisa, she's this, whatever, like I'm doing that, like I'm that person to you because that's who I am.
Yeah.
So that's fine, but I'm just going to operate honestly in what you are to me. You're probably great, X, Y, and Z, but if you don't feed me in the way that I need, you're just my acquaintance or friend.
Yeah.
Now, the only time you may be hurt by it is if you open your mouth and say, Lisa, am I your best friend? And I say no. And I mean, that's honestly what it is.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
in
That's
those
real, that's
scenarios, you know, people may encounter me and what they experience from me may be something they don't experience in other relationships.
Yeah.
Because what I've learned over time is my group of friends, we treat each other like family.
Yeah.
Facts.
Like when I say true family,
Yeah.
I started noticing the differences recently. Like,
Yeah.
oh wow, y'all would leave them in a ditch to die. Like,
Yeah.
oh, if they called you, you would say, hey, can you call an Uber?
Mm-hmm.
Like the way my friends are set up, all three of them coming and picking me up. Like,
Yeah.
and no matter what time of day, no matter what it is, like we treat each other like we literally have the same blood running through our veins.
Yeah.
So I just operate honestly. It is what it is.
Nah, that's
Just,
real.
So,
it is what it is.
so if someone, for example, if someone that you would class as your acquaintance, if they, I guess, like cross that line and like, oh yeah, no, Lisa's my bestie. Like, how? I know you say you operate, but how would you treat that? How would you treat them? Like, you know what I'm saying? Would you have a conversation with them? Would you cut them off? Like, what would you do?
No, I mean, if I occupy a space for you,
Yeah.
that is something that you need, and I feel like the value that you give me is enough for you to continue to be someone I call a friend or in my ecosystem in general,
Yeah.
then like, that's fine. You just know I'm not going to say it back to you.
Yeah.
Like, because the thing is, I don't want to lie.
No, I feel you. though. I feel you.
And it may also be a situation where it's like, I'm doing something and I want the people who are closest
Yeah.
to me to be here.
Yeah.
And you just may not be invited there, and you'll
Yikes.
figure out it then. But that's fine. If you think I'm your best friend, that's cool. Know that Lisa Ume, when she opened her mouth, she has never said person X is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's real though.
I think that like I asked that question on purpose because like for me personally, if I had someone that I would say like is around me that does that, like I'm not very sentimental with people. Do you get what I'm saying? Like I don't, when it comes to my life, like I don't have sentiment. Like I got a lot of things going on. I got a wife, I got a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so to me, if somebody isn't able to understand that, you know what I mean? To me, I don't have much of a tolerance for it. Do you get what I'm saying? To where it's like, it's a bit mad, but I kind of see it as like almost that person doesn't really respect my boundaries. Do you get what I'm saying? If somebody is like, if I treat you for what you are, or you know what I'm saying, and then you kind of like take it beyond, it's not really something that I'm very sentimental towards, because it's like, man, like, you know, I got my own stuff to deal with, man. Like I can't be having people that are confused in my life. I don't have time for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
if you're like, cause I got a lot of acquaintances.
Yeah.
I got a lot of acquaintances. I don't have that many friends.
Facts.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I actually don't have that many friends. You know what I'm saying? So like, to me, like, I don't like being sentimental when it comes to friendships. I don't like being sentimental with it. Like, oh yeah, do you know what? That person, they're overstepping, but oh man, I might just keep them just because they're cool. Nah, man, that like literally, I don't think there's like, I don't have enough time for that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, time is so valuable that I don't have enough time for that. Like, I like, as you said, like, I think it's very important to be open and honest as well. But like, I'm a type of person where like, man, I don't like talking. Do you get what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying?
So
Like,
the issue
if
is
you don't-
I do.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't like talking, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you get it, you get it. If you're with it, you're with it. If you're not with it, you're not with it. I actually don't, I'm not gonna call you and be like, hey bro, we're not really like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's weird, man.
yeah.
Oh, man. That stuff is weird, but yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nah. That's I don't know, that just opened like a can. I feel like, how can I go about that? I feel like for me, like, yeah, I would say I have a lot of friends, but I would say I have a lot of acquaintances as well. I think my thing is like, in a situation, at least in my life, I spread myself very, very thin. Very thin.
What do you mean, like in your friendships?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's funny, my thin is not their thin sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, I think I'm doing this, but to them it's like, you're not doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I don't even like to be like that, but like, if we switch roles in life, you're gonna understand like, oh, okay, like this is not like what I can give is what I can give. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I've realized like as I've gotten older, like my friends, they're starting to understand more. It's not like, oh, I don't want to do this and that. It's like, oh, okay, like keep in mind, we're not in the same position. We're not. This all of us are in different aspects of life. This and that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of helping to articulate that to other people. Like for instance, like sometimes like for any of us. Maybe like a 2-hour call. Like some people can talk all day on the phone, bro.
Oh, bro.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
like, and I can talk all day on the phone, but I can only talk all day on the phone if it's like midnight. Cause during the day, I'm figuring out something. I'm doing something, this and that.
Yeah.
And some people like feed off of that, you know, that constant, like, okay, like, you know, throughout the day or like constant checkups. And like the more and more I do get older, I do realize like that is important. But what's important to some is not important to like, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like figuring out like the median. And again, like what I was saying earlier, I think it just comes down to like really like understanding like what I give them and what they give me. And then that's going to help the longevity of the friendship.
So, sorry, I don't mean to.
No, you're good. You're
Let
good.
me ask you a question. So, would you, like, seriously, like, on a serious
you're
note, would you consider yourself, do you think you're a good friend?
Yeah. Do I think I have a lot of improvement? For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And it's funny you said that, like, last year, like 2020, I at least spent like a good amount of like trying to like, I know I need to be a better like friend. And because you don't realize how bad, and not bad and like terrible, but like how not good you are until you really sit and just like, whoa, like you look, you can like improve like in a lot of areas.
Yes.
Like a lot of areas.
Self-awareness.
Like, if it's just like not just like, okay, maybe you talk to this person like every time y'all are in public. Like, and it's not like you purposely doing that. That's just literally how it runs. Versus like, okay, let me just scale out a day to maybe talk to people that I haven't spoke to like in a minute. Because for some people, that's all they need, bro. That feeds them.
Yeah, no, facts.
That feeds them. And like, I think I've even experienced that. And that's how I learned. Like late last year, like even earlier this year, like some people that I haven't spoken to in a minute, like, they call me like, dang, like I could have been doing this for like someone else, you know what I'm saying? And obviously like with life, like it doesn't take long to where like you're just in your head, you're like, bro, I have to figure out this life thing. But before you know it, bro, there's people you haven't spoke to for in like 6 months. I'm not saying 6 months is like too long or too short, but like it didn't really need to be that long. If you really sat and understood like, oh, okay, like this person you should just be, we can just chop it up. We can just talk about something. Whether that's like your best friend or not. Obviously your best friend, naturally you're gonna talk to them the most. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be there. But your friends that aren't necessarily the closest, I feel like for some people, that's where it weighs a little bit like more. Because there's a certain expectancy you get from your closest friends. I'm not even talking about acquaintances. I'm talking about
Close friends,
and then closest friends.
Closest friends,
So there's certain expectation with like your closest friends. Now there's certain expectation with your friend too. And I feel like a lot of times people don't meet their expectation as a friend, but they treat their friend more like an acquaintance. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like that's something
You're working.
I'm working because it's like, dang, like, it's not even like that. It's really not. But it's just something I think I've never really sat and thought about until like last year and stuff. Like,
I would say the same thing. Like, I'm trying to be like a better friend. Because I feel like I've been spoiled. My best friend, like my tightest, she's like my sister. Right? She spoiled me where we have a low maintenance relationship.
I'm low maintenance too, bro.
So like we may not speak for like a while, but when we speak, we're chopping it up. Everything's back to normal, like nothing happened. And she knows that like when we're not speaking, she's busy, I'm busy, but we love each other. And whenever we come together, it's like nothing happened. So because I've been spoiled with that relationship, I have a lot of friends who have other needs, you know? So I'm going to be honest, and I even want to hear what you guys think. I found myself in situations where I know I'm a low maintenance friend, but because this person is important to me, I'm going to give them what they need. And I'm curious, like, where do you draw the line with that? Because
that's a good question.
Yeah, because it's just not me. If you don't call me in a month, I'll be fine. But I have friends who it's like, are we good? You haven't spoken in a week, or you didn't call me, you didn't check on me, you know? And they're like, is everything okay? You know, so I've had to like stretch myself and become more of the type of friend that they would need because they're important to me. So
no, that's a good question.
I think that's a very good question because I'm not gonna lie, very different to you guys. I'd actually consider, I don't think I'm a good friend. Like I'm dead serious. I don't think I'm a good friend. I think over the past couple of years, I've put all my eggs into being a good husband and now a father. Like I've put all my eggs into that, which I've been telling myself like all the time that I need to be a better friend. I need to be a better friend. I need to be a better friend. And it's something that I guess I've become a little complacent. I would say in some of my friendships, I think I would say I've become a little complacent in that. So it's like it can be hard sometimes when you're a low maintenance person, because I don't need to speak to someone for 6 months. I'm actually serious. I actually don't need to, but versus a high maintenance. But I also do believe in like sometimes, especially when you have a relationship with someone, I do believe in meeting people where they are. And that's why I would kind of say that I'm a bad friend. That's how I'll kind of say that I can be, because I feel like I need to do more of an effort to meet my friends where they are. You know what I mean? This person wants to be checked on once every 2 weeks. Boom, I need to, you know what I'm saying? I need to be on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, because I think you can be, but like 2 things can be true. I think I'm a good person. I think I'm a very good person, but I think I'm a bad friend. Like I actually do think that. And sometimes I've used that excuse like, oh yeah, I'm a good person. You know what I'm saying? I've used that, bro, like that doesn't make me a good friend. Do you get what I'm saying? Like I've been talking to my friends. I even got like, one of my friends over there told me like she was having a hard time with signed up, blah, 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 like some months ago. And I actually got angry. I was like, bro, like, why didn't you tell me? Like, what are you doing? Like, why didn't you actually tell me? Like, I was actually getting pissed off. Do you get what I'm saying? But like, it actually made me look within myself and like, bro, I've not even texted Skill. Like, when was the last time, you know them ones where you asking someone, oh, are you okay?
Yeah.
But bro, like, you can't, oh, are you okay? Like, bro, there's a real, are you okay? Like, I don't ask that question enough. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes like, some of our friends are just looking for that question, like, are you okay? Like, are you actually okay? So I think there is a point, but I feel like I do believe in meeting people where they are, especially your friends, for sure. That's definitely.
But I just wanted to touch on that because like you talked about being a dad, you know, and being a husband, and that's the season that you're in, right? I feel like there are different seasons that demand your attention. Right. And a good friend would understand like, hey, like he's in this season and like I might not be able to get that much, you know, time with him or that much of a text back or no, you probably text back, but like, you know, you know, we may not be able to hang out as much as we used to, but I understand that this person is just in a different season.
So I don't think my friends would say that about me, that I'm a bad friend. But I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I would say that, I actually say that about myself. Like, as you said, I think my friends are very understanding of like extremely understanding of that. But just like me being self-reflective, like just thinking about it now, I would look-y say that I'm not that great of a friend, honestly.
I'm not happy to say sometimes. I think you're a good friend. But y'all talking about this is making me like place myself. Even like, okay, like how like obviously like married and have a child right now. I feel like with us, like the bros, I feel like how we look at it is like, oh, Keenan's grown, like he grown. He's grown. So like, you know, he got some stuff to handle. But then deep in it's like, bro, like, it's not like he's experienced that before. It's not like you've experienced that before, you know what I'm saying? So if anything, it doesn't take any of us anything to just call and be like, okay, Shay, what's good? Like, how are you? You know what I'm saying? Oh, how's the kid? How's the wife? You know what I'm saying? How's the family? But I feel like a lot of times people, instead of like stepping in, they step back. So it's like, oh, like, you know what? He probably got let him just be, you know what I'm saying? Instead of you should like immerse yourself more. So yeah, that's what I said. Lisa, do you have anything to say on that? Or?
I'm only willing to stretch as much as I feel your value as a friend is to me. Like, right. I will only meet you as much as I want you in my life. So like, for me, I'm a talker. Like, every time I'm in the car, it's an opportunity to call somebody. So I'm one of those. But I wasn't always that way. But there was a really important friend that was like, listen, you don't call me. Like, what do you not care? And I was like, why is she clingy? Like, she looks at my, and then I started realizing, oh, that's like how you, like, that's love to you. And like, I want to be able to give you, like, make you feel loved in the way that I view the way you love me. Mine just doesn't look like talking to me.
That's a good one.
So, I mean, everything y'all said, like, I agree, but that's my big thing. I'm only going to move as much as I value.
that's a big deal.
Those are the kind of moments I had because, like I said, I've just been very like low maintenance. We don't have to check on each other. I'm fine when we see each other. It's fine. But then like I had moments with people who meant the world to me. Yeah. And they were like, yeah, I feel like you're not doing enough. Like, dang. Because I care about you, I'm going to step it up.
Yeah, because you find value.
Yeah. And so some people can actually teach you to be a better friend. And I think that's my experience. Yeah. So.
But I also think I'm going to tie everything to self-awareness. I think in college, especially, I had a huge excavation of self to really understand, like, what do I need as a person?
Yeah.
And I think I've used that as the template for how I am as a friend. So to answer the question, I think I'm a great friend. I think I have moments of not being the best friend because I'm a human. Yeah. But I think in general, I'm a great friend. Yeah. But that's because I put in the effort. I give people what I think would be a great friend. Like, I give them what I would need.
That's good.
Yeah,
so like,
that is good.
I actually need people to care about me and ask me how I'm doing
So you give that.
and check on me and whatever I need. So like, I do that to people.
Yeah.
So I think everybody defines it a different way, but to me, I'll say I'm a good friend.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So yeah, that's the topic on foundation. Some of us are better friends than others. Well, yeah. I'm glad y'all spoke on that. Y'all definitely said some good stuff. And see you on the next episode.